so she didn't have to get her hands dirty. And she rode in the truck with us all the way down to Florida and back. And I hadn't known Kimberly as long as some of you guys, but we happened to get pretty close, pretty quick, which I was so glad for. And she was always getting her hair colored and some crazy doing. And she'd come over and tell me all kinds of stories about what was going on in her life and how she was almost late for class again, all kinds of things like that. And I'm just so grateful. Day before accident, she stopped by the house just to say hi and see how things are going. And I didn't always give her a hug before she left, but that day we gave each other a hug and said, "I'll see you later." And I'm so thankful for that because I will see her later. And kind of sad she won't get to see Autumn grow up, but someday I'm pretty sure Autumn will get to meet Kimmy and see if that girl that's in all those pictures she was holding her, because she always had Autumn.
You want her oil change?
The muffler fell off.
Yeah, that part we were calling. The one night you call it midnight, the car didn't start at 1 night. Yeah, it was always a real treat with her.
And she had to take Matt shopping to get her new car, which we were so glad she finally had a new car.
I think the best thing to Kim, she was always true. She never hid anything. I mean, whatever it was, you knew. I don't even know how to say it.
Because Kim was mad, you knew she was mad. If she was happy, she was happy.
Right. You could always tell. Definitely always had the interesting voice on the hero man. He always thought he was something. Walking around. Shut up, boy. Really appreciated Kimmy's life. One big thing was she was the first one out of the youth to go to from Augustville when we were there, being a part and starting up, that she went to youth camp and traveling back from youth camp with her family. She goes, "Why doesn't anybody else go?" And I said, "Well, you need to talk about it. It's not about me. You need to talk about it." And automatically she went right to Rodney, and I said, "If you speak about it, then they'll come." And she went to Rodney and she said, "Rodney, you need to go," and talked him into it. Rodney went. The next year, those two rode back with my family from youth camp, and they're both going, "Why isn't anybody going?" And I said, "Well, you guys need to talk about it." And they both went back and talked about it, and then we had about 5 to, now we're almost up to 9, 10 that are going. But, you know, the fun, it is true. You knew when she was upset or when she was happy. You knew it. You didn't have to wonder about her or whatever. You knew where she was standing. They love, part of the group loved to come and do pranks at the house. You know, one night I had to call them and say, "Look, I'm not home. Leave my wife alone and my children alone, please." And they felt sorry because they spooked my family a little bit. And so I said, "Hey, you know, I don't mind if I'm here, but man, don't do it if I'm not there." And they would look in our windows. You know, they would look in our windows, look at us. They're like, "Pastor Greg, we saw you sitting right there, man. Didn't you see us? No. Didn't you hear us? No." I mean, Pastor Appreciation, they would set cans in the middle of the night of food in front of our front door in a pyramid and hang things all around, and we would never hear them. And we'd wake up in the morning and there's that stuff, and there'd be a note, you know, trying to warn us, "Please don't open the door because you're going to push it all over." And everything, and just the neat stuff. But you know what? We love getting together for our little talks. Rodney, Kim, sometimes Cole, we would get together in the daytime. We would meet at Burger King, or we would go somewhere and just sit down.
Ice cream,
yeah. We would sit down and just talk. Sometimes it was 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. They'd be like, "Hey, can you go with us, man? Will you meet us?" And I'd ask Lorraine, "Do you mind?" "No, go." "Oh, okay, cool." You know, but I always ask Lorraine just to make sure. And so I'm like,
Thank you, Lorraine, for allowing us to share that time.
I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to be back and stuff. And be honest with you, the week right before her accident, she really wanted to get together.
She was an item.
And our schedules never worked out. And I, you know, when the time came and she went to be with the Lord, I struggled with that because I thought, man, you know, what question did she have? What did she want to say? You know, because there are people, the Lord helps people to sense things are happening. And did she sense something? You know, like the hug. You know, you just don't know. And, you know, she was full of life. And she lived it to the fullest of everything she could get out of it. And I just, you know, I believe some of the people of your church in Tequila said, you know, she's with you in spirit. And I believe that. I believe that's how, to be honest with you, that's how we got this done. And, you know, she was kind of like there probably, you know, Aaron, you didn't know her, but she was probably dumping the buckets on your head. I don't know. Just to be a character. She would do that stuff. I mean, but, you know, to be honest with you, she was probably helping every single one of us lift the buckets and pour them. And just in spirit going, hey, you know what? We're accomplishing this thing. We're going to get it done. And so, you know what? She'd love to be here with us. She is. In spirit, she is. Physically, she's not. But folks, I'll tell you, you know what? Don't forget. Just remember the things that have occurred. And just appreciate the time that you get to spend with the people that are around you.
This one time she came to babysit. And, like, she was always so careful, like, what we could do because we had the practice kids. It's kind of funny because, she'd be like, we'd turn on the TV, she'd be like, can you watch this show? Like, she was, like, really, you know, fun.
Anyone else? Anybody else?
It's funny that she was in the hospital. Larry and I were told just to go home. Just for the family to be up. Or no, sorry. Some of us were told to go home. Only certain people were going to be up there. And then on the way to church, we got a call. Saved for us to go up because she's not going to make it. But we had to drop the boys off at the church. Then Patrick, when we dropped him off, he didn't understand why I was so upset. And then Jill told him, he said, Mommy, she can't die. Because Daddy can't pick on her anymore. He was a little upset too. But I'm going to miss her. I can't pick on her anymore.
I didn't really know Kim that well, but I was starting to get her know her during Set Apart. But we spent a lot of time in the park because I was in her group. And not only that, but babysitting her younger sister, how she would treat her. She always, like, Denim would always go, Kimmy, and, like, just run up. Remember one time I was at my aunt's house and she took me to night church for youth group and the air conditioning didn't turn on, so it was really cold in her car because it takes forever with her old car. So she always had like a blanket or something she gave it to me.
On a lot of banners that would hang outside of her house. That's her appreciation time. Things like that. Make that time special.
Also the time of forks. In our yard. And toilet paper.
So bad.
Anybody else?
She was the one who snuck on our porch. It's like 2:30 in the morning to hang up all that stuff for when we got home from the hospital.